teenagers doing today? How are we doing?
How are we doing? We're holding up. We're doing pretty good. It's day 15 of quarantine.
Yeah, it's a tough time for everybody out there. I know everybody's kind of cooped up at home. They're frustrated, but all we care about is that you are safe and you are healthy. And what we wanted to do today was just do kind of a fun cooking project that you can do at home. What are we making today, Angela?
We are making, I think, possibly the favorite snack item from any Disney park. Cheeseburger Egg Rolls.
That's right, yeah, very popular.
Super popular.
This recipe is very simple. It's gonna actually start off with us just browning off some ground beef behind us, and we're gonna add some onion to it, and then we're gonna let that cook a little bit, and then we're gonna add some of our ingredients, and we're gonna take you through all that good stuff. We're very excited to make this recipe for you guys today.
Yep, recipe's gonna be down below in the description.
Boom, and while you're there, throw this video a like, subscribe to the channel, do all the things that you're supposed to do with it, tweet it, Facebook it, Instagram it. I don't know if you can do that or not with these. Whatever TikTok is, do that. TikTok it, I don't know.
TikTok it.
Snapchat it.
Share it with all your friends.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do. Just take your phone, pull it up, and just hold it in their face to show it to them that way. That's good too. Yeah.
Well, not right now because social distancing, but once this is all over.
Yeah, if you have one of those selfie sticks. See, everybody complained about the selfie stick, but now's the perfect time for it.
For shoving it in someone's face?
Yeah, you just be like, here.
Just germs.
Well.
This is how quarantine is going for us.
It's, yeah.
All right, guys, are you ready to make some cheeseburger egg rolls?
So ready?
So ready.
Let's do it. All right, so the first step is we're going to brown off our ground beef. We're using just an 80-20 ground beef. It's gonna stick a little bit, but as that fat's gonna render out of it, it will get a little bit easier to work with. All right, so we have our beef starting to brown in the pan. We're gonna go ahead and season this. We're gonna add some salt and some pepper. For salt, we're going to use about a teaspoon. And you want to hit it with a few grinds of freshly cracked black pepper. As this starts to cook, you're just going to want to make sure you get it nice and brown. You want a little bit of caramelization. If your heat feels too low, you might want to turn it up a little bit. But you really want this to get nice and brown. All right, so while that beef is cooking, we're going to go ahead and grate some of our cheese for the cheeseburger egg rolls. It's always better to buy a big brick and grate it yourself as opposed to getting the stuff that's pre-grated in the store, because a lot of that stuff has been treated with chemicals, and I don't know, this just does a lot more. I think in terms of flavor, it melts a little bit better. So don't use the shredded stuff, don't use cheese slices or anything. Just buy the block and grate that bad boy.
When you say it's been treated with chemicals, do you mean like there's like a kind of like starchy powder on it that prevents it from melting? Exactly. Yeah. So you want to grate about a cup of cheese. If you like it cheesier, go ahead and grate a little more for yourself. Our beef is still cooking, so now that we've got it almost brown, you can see that a little bit of fat's rendered out of that. We want to go ahead and add our onions now. This is about a small onion. You know, if you want to call it a quarter of a cup if you like measuring, but a small onion is fine, or half a big onion. A nice yellow onion is fine. If you want like a sweeter onion, you can do that too. But again, it's all about kind of getting that base recipe down, and people can play with it however they want to. Fun! So what you want to do is you want to let those onions kind of cook in that rendered beef fat that's in there and come together nicely. It's going to take a few minutes. Beef is doing very well. We're now going to add our pickles. And this is about a quarter of a cup of chopped pickles. Go with the pickles of your choice. We like making our own pickles sometimes, so we weren't able to do that now, but we're going to add those pickles. And once those get incorporated, we're going to now add our mustard and ketchup. So we're going with 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard to 1 teaspoon of ketchup. And I think you're going to find that that's a really good balance for these. This is what we found reminds us the most of what it's like in the Magic Kingdom. In my humble opinion, I think there's a version of these where you could just get away with the mustard and not use the ketchup at all. But probably. People love ketchup, so. By people, it's me. I love the ketchup. You said a teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon of ketchup. Or catsup.
Catsup? Aren't those two different things?
Oh, I don't know. All right, so the mustard and the ketchup and the pickles and the onions are all in there. So now that we've got that, we're now ready to add our cheese. But there's one crucial step that you gotta do when you're here. After you've added your mustard and your ketchup and all that good stuff, you wanna take this off the heat completely and then stir in your cheese. You don't wanna put cheese into like a pot that's cooking. You wanna be able to allow it to kind of gradually melt in there.
Here's our massive thing of cheese.
And again, I will just reiterate, grate the cheese yourself. It comes out so much better. Yeah, and that cheese will just kind of slowly melt into a really, really good filling.
So, like, listen to the sound.
It's like meaty ASMR. All right, so there it is. We're gonna now allow it to cool, and then we're gonna fill our egg rolls. But first, we're gonna make a dipping sauce. So this dipping sauce is actually kind of inspired by the Shake Shack dipping sauce, or the Shake Shack burger sauce. So if you like Shake Shack, this is a pretty good, a modest clone of that sauce. We've made it before and it goes really, really well with these. So it starts with this guy, mayo. We're gonna use about half a cup.
You're gonna eyeball it?
I'm eyeballing it, baby.
It's living on the edge.
That's right. All right, so there's our mayo. Ba-bow! Ba-boom!
Yes.
Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
I did, but it's in your hand. Wait, let's do that again.
Tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Use the Dijon of your choice. If the tablespoon does not fit into the Grey Poupon, you can always do 3 teaspoons because 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. All right, boom. Good. And then we're going with 3/4 of a teaspoon of ketchup.
That's confusing.
Yeah, it is.
This portion of the video will be heavily edited to remove my commentary.
Why? Your commentary is like the best.
Aw, you're the best.
I know. Then, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take the juice from the pickles.
I feel like this is really the secret ingredient, right?
I think so. I think so. Now again, if you do these at home, you're in a much better position here because homemade pickle brine is really, really good. But I'm gonna go with about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pickle brine. In that goes. And then we're gonna go with just a subtle pinch of the cayenne pepper. How much is a pinch? Like that. And now I'm just gonna give this a stir. And we're gonna stir it up. Stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring. All right, so that's pretty good. Now we've got that mixed. We're gonna set it aside until it's time to eat. But now we're gonna try to roll up these cheeseburger egg rolls. It's time to fill them. So we're gonna fill them. We've got these egg roll wrappers. Go ahead.
I'm the Vanna White of this production.
So we're ready to roll these guys, and I learned the rolling technique through Chef John from Food Wishes, who's an awesome YouTuber, so I would check him out. So that's gonna be the technique I'm gonna use. What you're gonna need here are your wonton skins, your egg roll wrappers, and some egg wash, just a beaten egg with a little bit of water. The way we're gonna do this, we're going to take an egg roll wrapper. We're gonna take a little bit of egg wash, and we're gonna brush some egg wash onto our egg roll wrapper. Doing kind of a little square pattern here. Just getting around the edges. If you get some in the middle, that's fine. Not a big deal. Getting that just kind of ready to go so we can roll it. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tablespoon, and this will hold about 2 tablespoons of filling. So we're gonna go ahead and take our first tablespoon, drop it on the egg roll azar. Second one, and there you go. So there's our first one. The way that we're gonna do this, pack everything nice and tight, make it look like a nice little rolled up cigar, roll it over itself, okay? And once you do that, we're going to then kind of tamp down these edges here. Tamping down, getting those kind of sealed. All right. I, at this point, like to hit it with just a dash more of the egg wash, just to seal this little edge that I made. But I'm now going to go ahead and try to fold this over. And pinch down, creates a seal. Bring this in the other way. Pinch down to seal that up. And then roll through.
That's beautiful.
All right. And that is your cheeseburger egg roll. Your first one.
Yay.
Boom. Move these off to the side and have at it. Okay, so we're ready to now fry our cheeseburger egg rolls. They're gonna go into this oil. We've kind of got the oil kind of like almost like a shallow fry, where you get the oil just about, covering the food by half. So that way you don't have to have all the deep frying smell going in there. Right now I have it maybe a little bit closer to a deeper fry, but that's okay. Well, the trick here is that you want to get this up to 350 degrees. All we're doing is we're cooking the egg roll wrapper, right? Because the ingredients in there are already cooked, so we're not going to do anything more than just do these for about 60 seconds per side. That's being generous. You really need to pay attention here. When they start to get a golden brown color, go ahead and pull them out. So that's what we're gonna do as soon as we hit another 20 degrees. The other key here is don't overcrowd your pan. If you put all of them in here right now, you're gonna have a mess on your hands. It's also gonna reduce the temperature of the oil, which can make your food greasy, and you don't want that either. Also important to set up a station for yourself. We have a little station where we can take them out using our spider, and then we can put them onto a little drying station that we have right here, just some wire racks. Remember, this all moves very quickly. This goes in about 60 to 90 seconds, maybe even less. You just really need to pay attention to everything that's going on. So these have now hit the temperature that I want. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in my egg rolls. And I'm gonna try to do 4 at a time here. I think 3 is pretty good. I don't know that I wanna do much more than that. I can also see that my oil is still pretty hot, so I'm gonna cut my heat down on my oil just a hair. Get yourself one of these thermometers. I was gonna say temperature things. It's a thermometer, and that will tell you how hot your oil temperature is. So just kind of keep paying attention to what you got going on in here. You may need to turn them a little bit early. Just kind of keep your eyes on them, because these will go from being really, really good to being overcooked fast. So just make sure you're paying attention.
How do you know when they're ready to flip?
You just kind of take a fork and just kind of flip them a little bit and see where they're at. And if they're feeling pretty good, go ahead and flip them. Which I'm going to try to do in a way that's a little bit more graceful. This one does not want to stay turned over.
Why is it doing that?
So when in doubt, I'm just going to hold it down.
How deep of a golden brown do you want to get?
It's really up to you. I mean, they will continue cooking for a few seconds after you take them out. So always good to just kind of watch where they are in terms of doneness, because they're always going to get a little bit more done. But remember, the inside ingredients are already cooked, so we're not doing anything here except just cooking the wrapper that they're in. I actually think we're getting pretty close on these guys. Like this guy here, I think he's done. So we're gonna take him out, move him to the drying rack. His friend here also looks ready to me. Out that one goes. All right, so now all we're gonna do is finish frying the rest of them. Cheeseburger egg rolls. They are easy to make, and it's one of those things where, like, you can just as easily get those egg roll wrappers, roll up some mozzarella cheese and a few slices of pepperoni and make pepperoni pizza egg rolls. What's important to remember here is just the technique of, like, how to roll the egg roll, making sure all your ingredients are cooked, keeping your fry temperature up, all those different things. So I think this is a fun project.
I think so too.
I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of the dipping sauce on that we made. Salud.
Bon appetit.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you do this at home? They're so delicious. And this dipping sauce is actually a really great accompaniment too. But make them for a little party or shindig or soiree. Social distancing, can't really do that, but you can throw them to each other, and just don't do that when they're right out of the oil. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Or just eat them yourself.
Yeah.
Put on a movie, watch The Mandalorian for like the 30th time.
Yes.
All right, so again, like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Let us know in the comments the things that you're making or what you would like to see us make.
Yes. Until next time.
Let's eat all these